Hey, great morning to you all. I hope that you've all woken up grateful to be alive again today. And I hope that you have reminded yourself of all of the things that you have to be grateful for. And I hope you've set that high vibe. And I hope when you're seeing any kind of limits, hey, you're getting creative, pushing past them. And I hope when you're seeing any kind of obstacles, well, you're taking the time to learn. Yeah. And I hope when you're seeing setbacks, you're actually taking the time to assess. Okay, and redirect your energies. Hope you're practicing the pause. What do I mean by that? I hope that you're breathing life into you anytime that you're feeling constricted or stressed out. I hope you're breathing life into your being. Okay. And I hope you're not reacting to things. I hope you're actually responding. Okay? Because literally, hey, we've been trained to react to everything. But you know what? No. You should be responding. Anyway, this morning I want to talk about how easy it is to be a loving person. Yes, it is very easy because it's a simple choice, but it's not so easy to be receiving of love. And I want you to take a look at that within your own being. And there's a couple of things that I can simply ask you, and you'll know whether you're receiving of love in your life or not. And I don't mean of physical love, and I don't mean of, are you able to be loved or no. What I'm talking about is, are you able and freely receiving of another person's love frequency to you or love language for you? When another person gives you a compliment, does that make you feel weird? Okay, look, I'm going to put it this way. For a long time, yes, I've always been loving, but for a very long time, I was very incapable of receiving love from people because I myself felt that I didn't matter enough to. And that I wasn't worthy enough, and I wasn't valid enough. Okay? But once I made that mind shift, and with a new realization and all the inner work that I have done, yes, I'm very receiving of it. There are things that didn't make me feel comfortable. Another person touching me. I didn't like it. And I still don't. Okay? There are only very few people that I will allow to physically touch me. Okay? So, if you're one that doesn't like to be touched, well, then that's a clear sign. I was very incapable of hearing anybody compliment me. Of any nature. It made me not feel good. Why? Because my father believed that love was trickery. And that anybody that was doing something good towards you was a trick because they wanted something. So for me, anybody approaching me in a loving way was, hey, guards up. Okay? So for me, it was very difficult during my life, to be receiving of love of any magnitude. Other people doing things for me didn't make me feel good. Other people helping me with anything didn't make me feel good. Any person Complimenting me or acknowledging me did not make me feel good. The least attention possible that I could get from anybody in this world was the best thing for me. That's changed, obviously. But again, I had to look at it. Then I had to learn from it. Then I had to apply things in my life to change that. So these are the things I want you guys to look at in your life. When you compliment your own self, how does that make you feel? When you tell yourself good things, like you're amazing and you're capable and you're strong and you can get through anything and everything is just temporary and it's only just merely an experience. Because hopefully by now you've been telling yourself these things. But I want you to really look at if you're receiving of love. Because if you're not receiving of love, well, then it's hard to love yourself. And that's why I want you to take a look at this stuff. Because it all intertwines. And if you can't be receiving of love wholeheartedly, well, then you cannot love yourself wholeheartedly. It really does matter. And it connects. And until I could be receiving of love for my own being and believe that I was worth it and I mattered, well, then I couldn't love myself wholeheartedly and unconditionally, and therefore remained in a state where I could not do that for another being either. So I'd like you to take a look at that stuff. And I don't want you to attach any excuses to it. And what do I mean by that? Oh, well, as a kid this happened to me, and my parents did this, and my grandparents did that, and I had to live this, and I had to live that, and that's why I can't this, and that's why I... No, none of that. I just want you to look and see if you are receiving of love for your own being. No matter what your life circumstance has been, and no matter what situational things have happened, and no matter what interactions that you've had in your life, today is a brand new day. And as you wake up and you're given the gift of life today, again, you can create yourself to be anybody that you wish yourself to be today. So, today, if you have not been able to be receiving of love up until yesterday, change that for yourself today. Because you can. And this is why I'd like you to take a look at that. Because if you cannot be receiving of love, then it's very difficult to feel self-loving or self-validation or self-worth or, self-respect, because you're not receiving of love. I was like that for years. For years. And I had to come to that realization where, hey, yeah, I like to make everybody else feel good, but why am I not allowing that for myself? Big Head, can you stop? Thank you. And when I really checked it, yeah, Everybody who knows me knows I don't never like to receive gifts. I never like to receive compliments. I never like to receive anything from anybody else. I just wanted to be left alone. Seriously. And that's why I stayed out of a serious relationship for so long. I wasn't receiving of it. No way. Because I was guarded. It was self-preservation mode. I was in survival. Fear of being traumatized again. Fear of being abandoned again. Fear of being disrespected again. Fear of being abused again. Fear of being... I wasn't receiving of love. Seriously. And I know how that feels. I know how it feels when it feels awkward in your being when somebody tells you you're such a great person. But if you're not feeling that way, it's a contradiction, so the energies clash and you don't feel right. It happened. I know what that feels like personally. I know what it feels like for somebody to stand there and tell you that they love you, but you don't feel it. And you're like, okay, yeah, right. I know what that feels like. See, you got to understand that my father believed love was trickery. That anybody that was telling you that they loved you was a trick because they wanted something from you. So this is how he conditioned me to be. From a very young age. And I watched and modeled what he did. Like, yes, my mother too, but I am more like my father in his character traits. I know that. I know that. My mother, I have her intelligence, her loving ways, her nurture, but my father, oh, phew. And I'm proud to be like that. But this is why I know this stuff exists. Because living and growing up the way I did, hey, listen, yeah, I grew up to be somebody that was not receiving of love. And I avoided it because love brought hurt, trauma, guilt, blame, shame, denial, judgment, and all of the rest of this stuff that love is really not comprised of. So once I really understood the difference, well, then, why not be receiving of it? Because love is not what I have been made to believe it is. So that's why I was never receiving of it in my life. Openly. Because with love brought all kinds of stuff that I did not want any part of. But no, that's not what this infinite, unconditional love that fuels us is. It's unconditional. There's no shame, there's no blame, there's no denial, no judgment, no guilt, no embarrassment, none of that stuff. There's no abuse, no violence, no negligence, no restriction in real love. So once you understand the difference, And once you understand that, oh, maybe possibly you're not receiving of the love that you could be receiving of. And I'm not just saying, oh, be receiving of any love and just let anybody into your life and just be, no. Be super vigilant about who you allow into your bubble and into your personal space, definitely, because everything's a transfer of energy. So whatever the other person's made up of will transfer onto you if you engage with that. So, but I'm asking in a realm of this, are you receiving of love in your life? I know I wasn't for years. Why? Because that's how I was made to be. But I fixed that. I corrected that. And there's nothing more now that I want than to feel loved in my life, which I do every day. The minute that I open my eyes and I'm given another day, I know I'm loved. Because I was given today. That's how much I'm loved. How could I not be grateful for that? Do you think that's dependent on any person, place, situation, interaction, or anything attached to me? No. No. That's all to enhance my experience. Simply. But that's how much I'm loved. Is to be able to have the capacity to have my experience, number one. To have everything that I need for my experience within me to be okay. And everything outside of me to enhance it. But am I receiving of all of the greatness of everything? Yes, I am now. Because I have a different understanding. And again, I sit here grateful to be alive another day. And just that alone, that proves to me that I'm loved. And yes, I'm receiving of that. Seriously. You know, because yes, we can all be loving beings and we have this thing about it's all about what we're doing. No, but it's all about what we're taking into and how we're governing our being and if we're getting the most out of our experience. And if you're not receiving of love because you've been tarnished by life and past experience of this conditional man-made love, because that's what it's been. No, you can change that. Got to love yourself unconditionally and be receiving of that in your life. Because real love doesn't contain any of that. Not at all. Anyway, guys, said high vibe. It's the middle of the week. You get through the week. Setting a high vibe, breezing through it, telling yourself great things. But I really want you to analyze that stuff within your being. Everything's a give and take. Hey, great morning. Much love, can't stay. Just wanted to say hi. Smitty, I love you. I'm grateful for you, buddy. Thank you. Have an awesome day. Yo, Roderick, blessed. Lots of love, man. I'm happy to see you out here. I'm encouraging everybody this morning to take a look at whether they're receiving of love in their life. Because it's one thing to be loving and believe that we can govern our beings out of a state of being loving all the time, but are we receiving of that love also? Why I bring it up is I personally know for years I wasn't receiving of love. Hey, actually, you know what? Now that you're out here, and you honestly, Hey, Carol. Love waking up to you in the morning. Great morning. Hey, but Roderick, while you're out here, let me address that personally. You personally know that I wasn't receiving of love. Okay? I love you. Have a great day. Right? So, I hope that you feel the love from me this morning, Roderick, and you don't take anything personal because that was me. All right? Cheers. Loads of love to you this morning. Really grateful to see you out here. Anyway, guys, yeah, so look, I really want you guys to take a look at that stuff and see if you're receiving of love in your life. Because the universe is always working in our favor. And I know that personally myself, because of the life that I'd lived, like I'd mentioned before, my father, I grew up with a man who believed that love was trickery. And that anybody that showed you any kind of love, it was because they wanted something from you. And they never had your best intentions at heart. It was their best intentions at heart. And, I had to be on guard all my life with that. Wasn't receiving of anything good in my life. Wasn't receiving of compliments. Wasn't receiving of love from another. Yeah. Because of what I had to live. But I had to correct that. And I have to be just as receiving of the unconditional love that fuels me and I'm projecting. I have to be just as open and receiving of that. But I couldn't be for a very long time. And it's through a realization of that I could change that. And now I believe that I have. And I am very much receiving of love in my life in any shape, way, or form that it comes. Why? Because I realize how much love I lacked in my life by not being receiving of it for a very long time. And it may seem crazy to some, but if one cannot be receiving of love, it doesn't matter how much another person intends to love them. Let me put it this way. It doesn't matter how much another could sit there and tell me that they love me. If I'm not receiving of that, well, then I'm not feeling that. What I'm feeling is my own thoughts, the shame, the blame, the denial of that. So therefore, I'm not receiving of it. And I've had quite a few wake-up calls to make me do the inner work, to take a look at that stuff. Why wouldn't I want to? Seriously. So I encourage everybody to do that. Take a look at your own being and not only be unconditionally loving to yourself, but also check and see if you are receiving of love fully. Because it really does make a difference whether you're getting the most out of your experience or not. I know I was robbing myself for a very long time. How did I do that? Well, what I believe to be true about myself and what I believe to be true about love. And anytime I thought love, I cringed. I was like, oh, no, that comes with violence, abuse, neglect, denial, shame, blame, all of the... No, I didn't want any part of that. That's why I cringed. But no, there's a new understanding within my being. And for the first time, I hear, well, since my, realignment to source, my spiritual, no, that's not what love is. So now I can be open and receiving of it because I know better. Doesn't matter what I lived. And that's why I can encourage you all. It doesn't matter what you've lived up until yesterday. If today you want to be open and receiving to love, well, that's a simple choice to be, and you can be. How do you know? Well, here, I'll mention it again. When somebody offers you a compliment, are you receiving of it, or does it make you feel not right in your stomach? Like you don't feel right because you don't believe that about yourself. Somebody tries to gift you with something, showing you love. How do you feel about that? Does it make you feel weird? Yes, watch people's intentions, but be receiving of people's love when they're genuinely trying to show you some love. That's all. Anyway, guys, it's at a high vibe. It's Wednesday. I want you to get the most out of your experience. And I love you all, unconditionally. And that's why I come out here and do it. You know what? And I will be receiving of just as much love as I project, finally, in my life, for the first time. But hey, it was my birthday on Monday. And you know what? I'm stepping into a new year. And I have to release old energies that no longer serve my purpose or my highest good. So that's what I'm also working on too. Being totally receiving of the unconditional love that fuels my life. And I'm grateful for my experience, and I'm grateful for every single one of you. Love y'all. I want you to get the most out of your day. So when you see a limit, get creative. When you see an obstacle, take the time to learn. When you're seeing a setback, hey, it's cool. Assess. It's to redirect your energies. I hope you're all practicing the pause and not reacting to things, but responding. Taking the time to breathe. Why? Because you matter the most in your experience. If you're not okay, nothing's okay. So I encourage you all to be okay within your being, no matter what. Be at your baseline. Okay? Don't live by a cause and effect. In other words, don't be shifted in your wellness because of anything that's happening to you outside of you. Because nothing is happening to you. Everything is for learning. Every person that comes into your life, every situation, every circumstance, every interaction is all for your learning. Don't be so hard on yourself, but be receiving of love during it all, because it definitely changes the magnitude of everything. Yeah, definitely. You're sourced by an infinite, unconditional love that loves you no matter what. No matter what. So get the most out of your day and out of your experience. All right? I love you all. Have a great day. Peace.